Hey Matt,
Hey Hannah,
what did the duck say when she bought a lipstick?
what did the duck say when she bought a lipstick? I don't know. What did she say?
Put it on my bill.
That's bad.
It's so bad. But so good.
Yeah, so good.
Matt has the best laugh, so we hope you enjoyed this little joke telling session. I'm gonna go tell some more jokes now.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so Caroline.
Yes, Hannah.
What do you call a hippie's wife? A Mississippi.
Oh, that's bad. Happy Monday, FlossTube. Hello, crafty friends. How's everybody doing today? My name is Caroline. Welcome back to my channel. Today is Monday, December the 6th, and happy day 6 of Flossmas Vlogmas. I did not record any video this weekend for a couple of reasons. I managed to injure my finger yesterday. It's rather embarrassing, but I'm just going to quickly mention it here because you'll probably notice it over the next little while that my finger is bandaged up. It's so silly. I'm so embarrassed. I closed it in the car door quite firmly. So anyways, I'm fine, totally fine. It doesn't even hurt at all. It's just, I mean, it did hurt yesterday, but it doesn't hurt anymore. So I'm fine. I just have to keep it bandaged. So that's why I have a gigantic bandage on my finger. And is also the reason why everything today is a little bit slow going as I sort of figure out how to do everything that I do with a bit of a hindrance on my hand, but wasn't my dominant hand, and I can still stitch and I can still knit, which I have to tell you, I was pretty pleased. So all in all, not a terrible thing, just more of an annoyance, but that's why my finger is bandaged up. I have Hannah has taken a fair bit of video for today. So most of today's Flossmas video is actually going to be handed over to Hannah, who had a little bit of fun in the workshop today, taking some video. The internet at home, the situation with the internet at home is not good. Apparently Rogers has to run a whole new line to our house. So the chances of me filming and uploading anything at home in the next few weeks at least are probably slim to none. We're also having some renovation work done in our living room. We've needed the ceiling in our living room to be redone, well, since we moved into the house about 18 years ago, and we're finally having some work done. But it does mean that the house is kind of turned upside down at the moment. I think the guys were showing up today to start work, and it involves drywall and I think most of you who have had home renovations done that involve drywall, you know of the mess of which I speak. So filming at home, probably not going to happen for the next little while. So, but luckily I have a pretty nice space here at the workshop where I can record some video and we can visit together. So I do know that the one piece that I worked on the most this weekend was my Modern Folk Embroidery Red Berries piece, and Hannah has actually used it in some of the video footage that she's done. So I'm not going to share it again right now because you're going to see a nice close-up of it in a few minutes. But I can show you my sock. So look at this, you guys. I managed to finish the leg entirely. The leg is done, and I got started on the heel. So there it is. I started my heel flap. So this is the Timber Yarns 2020 Christmas yarn, holiday yarn, and I've been calling it my Smarties yarn, Smarties socks. I started the first one last year during Flossmas. The first one was finished early this year, I think in January, if I'm not mistaken, January, February. And So it's time. Needed a mate. So time to get that done. And I'm really, really hoping to have it done by Christmas. And I don't know. I seem to be ticking along quite nicely on it. So very pleased that I'm on the heel flap. Knitting has been a little bit slow, but at least I can still, I'm already a slow knitter. Add in a finger with a bandage on it and it has slowed me down a little bit more, but progress is still being made. The other thing that I worked on was my Ruskin's Penguins piece. And I did manage to stitch the word fully. I now have a penguin. I now have a penguin. And I did some more, I finished another heart or two, and I finished, I think the border on the right here I put a few lengths of floss in overall. Isn't it cute? I just loving stitching this piece. It is so fun. It's a 28 count fabric by XJU Designs. Her shop, you can find Jukas at www. It's an Etsy shop, but if you search for xjudesigns.com, her shop will pop up. This is a 28 count linen in the old linen colorway, and it's really nice. And I'm using the called for Leo&Roxy flosses that are weathered white and chalkboard. I love it. Just love it so much. So, you know, I did manage to find some crafting time over this past weekend, even though things were life was full this past weekend. However, all good. Anything else? Yes, I had mentioned about a month ago or so that I had purchased the December Floss Fest box from Ymir, and I was hoping to be able to open it, you know, during the month of December, but it hasn't arrived yet. So if anyone was wondering why I hadn't been mentioning it, it certainly isn't because I'm not enjoying it or I don't, you know, I don't like it or anything like that. Nobody's asked, but I just wanted to make sure that I let you know that I just haven't received it yet. I think we all know the state of the world and the postal system at the moment, deliveries, all that kind of, all that jazz. And I just haven't received it yet, but I can tell you this, I am so excited to get it. I know it's on its way, I just haven't received it yet. And so let me tell you, when I do get it, I'm gonna be able to open a whole bunch of days all at once, and that's going to be super exciting. So I will share that with you. And I know there's lots of other people who haven't received their box quite yet either. So when I do receive it, I'll make sure that I say before I show anything so that it doesn't spoil anything for anybody else. I think that's it. It's already middle of the afternoon here in London, Ontario, Canada. Yeah, it's 2 p.m. So I'm going to, I'm gonna leave the video now. I'm gonna hand it over to Hannah. I actually haven't even watched what she's recorded yet, so I'm looking forward to seeing what she came up with.
Hi Stitchers, it's Hannah here. I'm in the floss room here today. I'm going to give you guys some close-ups on some flosses today. We're going to be looking at the Leo&Roxy Yarn Co collection red flosses. Really excited to tell you guys about these. We've got lots of really great reds in our collection, and we just got some really great news about our red collection. I'm not going to, you know, spoil the surprise. I'll let Caroline tell you about it, but we just got some really great news, so we're really excited about it. So I hope you are all having a great Flossmas so far and you're enjoying the holiday season. We were getting some snow here, you know, in the early bit of December, end of November, but now, you know, it's actually pretty warm out today. It's all melted. I'm a little bit sad about it because I'm a big Christmas fan and I love snow. I just think it's so beautiful, and so, you know, may as well hang around with the floss instead.
So Hannah mentioned that we had some good news on our line of red flosses that we haven't had in a while, such as Vixen and Merlot and Bright Merlot, those lines of flosses. I think we're going to be able to restock those in the near future. So that is very exciting. The red, some of our reds have been very difficult to track down and receive the base for the floss because of the different problems with supply lines. You know, that everybody is, you know, having similar issues. We've all heard about the problems with the supply lines. Well, it so happens that in order for us to be able to produce the red floss, well, I should say in order for Carrie to be able to produce the red floss, she needed a particular base that she just couldn't get. And so things are looking good. So I should have some more information on those colors soon. I think Hannah goes into a little bit more detail in her next clip over which ones in particular that are either out of stock or low in stock. I know Vixen, we haven't had Vixen for a while. It's been out of stock. It was a very popular color. Understandably, it's pretty awesome. So anyways, that was editing Caroline. This is editing Caroline popping in, and now back to Hannah.
Hey Stitchers, it's Hannah here. Today we're going to look at the red flosses that are a part of the Leo&Roxy Yarn Co floss collection, which is available on our website, evertote.ca. We're going to look at 12 colors total, so I'm going to do them in smaller batches, just so each individual color gets the airtime that it deserves. The first 5 that you're looking at here, from top to bottom, we have 11 points. 11 points more. Cheeky, Lucille, and Falu Red. I'm going to first give our undivided attention to this lovely floss here. This is 11 points. As you can see here on the tag, I'm going to do a little zoomy zoom zoom. It's 11 points. This is a great floss. It's named 11 points after the 11 points on the maple leaf that's on the Canadian flag. If you purchase our maple leaf bag, you have the option to add this floss as well as some antique wedding dress to the bag as a little floss add-on that coordinates with it. As you can see, this floss here is pretty variegated. Let's see if we can really focus in. There we go. It's got, you know, kind of like the Canadian flag. It's got that nice bright rich red with some white variegation, very light variegation. Spread the skein out a bit so you can really get a full idea of the levels. Isn't that nice? Absolutely lovely. Now this floss kind of has a little partner in crime. So there's this one here. This is 11 points more. So it's got the same kind of tone of red as 11 points, but it's a lot less variegated. And it's also a really lovely color. Give it a little zoom. Give it a little flip. 11 points more. To compare the two, as you can see, you know, they're really similar in the tone of red that they are, and the variegation is very similar tone as well. It's just that the original first 11 points is much, much, much more variegated. Give it a little span. down here. Just lovely. The next one that we're going to be looking at is Cheeky. Cheeky was released as part of our Pride set back in sort of end of May, early June time, around when I started here at Evertotes. The Pride set was actually one of the first sort of major things that we put together when I first started. So this is the red from the Pride set. This one also is featured in our Red Berries chart and floss. Red Berries is a chart by Jacob of Modern Folk Embroidery. It's paired with Dark Sage, which is another really great color in our collection. Hopefully I can do a video on our greens because I love all of our green floss. Hopefully Caroline will let me do it because I want to do it. That's Cheeky. I'm going to show you some Cheeky in action here. So Caroline's got a work in progress of Red Berries, like I said, by Jacob. So here's what it looks like stitched. And with that Dark Sage floss. Look at that. Wow. I don't know why I felt the need to whisper. Feels like sometimes when you're looking at things sort of up close and personal like this that you really want to be a bit hush-hush. She's actually made a lot of progress on this since the last time I saw it. And it's just a really, really awesome chart. Definitely want to scoop it up. Look at that. Isn't that awesome? You know I'm not much of a stitcher myself, but I can really appreciate the art of it all and the sort of aesthetic value of these projects. And the huge level of creativity it takes to not only design such lovely charts, but also, you know, the patience and the chutzpah you need to, you know, really hunker down and get a project done. So yeah, that's Cheeky. Just, I'll pop a little skein there. Isn't that awesome? Absolutely wicked. Our next floss is called Lucille. So the story of Lucille was we started getting quite a few different sort of red tone, coppery tone flosses in, and we decided that it would be a really cute idea to name them after sort of iconic and famous redheads, either from literature or from, you know, real life. So this one's named Lucille after Lucille Ball. I am a big fan of I Love Lucy. I don't know if anyone else here is a big Lucille Ball fan, but if you are, you know, tell me in the comments. And so this floss was released with our holiday collection this year. It's featured in the Jeanette Douglas Christmas Cheer Pin Pillow charts. There are 6 of those charts in total that come with the booklet. And it's really just such a great color. The perfect Christmas red. Look at that. Wow. I mean, it doesn't get much Christmasier than that, you know? Is it not just fantastic? So again, that's Lucille. Flip that over. Lucille. Look at that. Wow. I could literally stare at floss close up all day and not get sick of it. It's just so different when you're really looking at it. So close. I'm going to show you some Lucille in action now. So this is one of the 6 charts that's part of the Christmas cheer pin pillows charts by Jeanette Douglas. So this one's the 'Tis the Season one. Gorgeous. And so this border here, gonna zoom in, there we go. This border here was done with Lucille. Isn't that pretty? I really love this border actually. I love the sort of scalloped edge type detail. It's really nice, especially with these Lucille. It really just makes it pop. So here's the skein of Lucille next to the stitched up one. I'll zoom in here. You can really take a nice close look at it together. Gotta angle it down a little bit. There we go. Oh, that's too far. There we go. Isn't that just great? Just perfect. We have so many great red flosses. We've only looked at 4 of them. Can't wait to show you the rest. It's awesome. The next and final one from this sort of set of 5 that I'm starting you off with, this is Falu Red. For those of you that purchased our Hygge set, you would have gotten this in a really nice decorative thread bobbin. It's really just such a lovely color. It's named Falu Red because that's the name of the paint color that in Sweden, when they paint their cottages, they paint them Falu Red. So this one, you know, it's just got this lovely rich tone to it, and it's really pretty. A lot of you have probably bought some or seen it around. You can't go wrong with the Falu Red. It's just so good. I'll show you some Falu Red in action now. And this is another one of the Christmas cheer pin pillow ones. This is the Happy Holidays chart. I'll zoom out so you can kind of get a full little view real quick. So we stitching in this this is Falu Red here in action. It's a replacement for the cold floss. We just thought that it would be a nice addition or color option for this chart. Isn't that nice? It's a great color, especially stitched up. Look at that. Give you a little side by side there. Isn't that nice? Seriously. This really is bringing me Christmas cheer. I love Christmas. I could talk about Christmas all day. I definitely have the Christmas spirit in me, as some people would say. Actually, I'm gonna show you these together because I think that would be interesting. So this chart with the Falu Red switch out for the cold for floss, you can kind of see how you can pair 2 red flosses together. So this up here is Lucille, And so then here's the skein of Lucille I showed you, and then this is the Falu Red. The skein of Falu Red there. Just lovely. Alright, so I'm going to, you know, take a little coffee break, and I'll be back to show you some more floss. Alright, so I've had a little snack and had some apple juice. I was pretty thirsty after finishing that last little bit. Sometimes, you know, talking makes you thirsty. So yeah, I had a bit of apple juice and a handful of M&Ms. I love M&Ms. If any of you also really love M&Ms, tell me. I love hearing from people. Love finding those, you know, little commonalities. You know, we can all talk about our differences, but we've got lots of similarities too. So this next group of floss we're looking at here, these reds are sort of the more purple toned end of red rather than like an orange toned end of red. So we've got raspberry puree and Pippi, which is not released yet, so you're kind of getting a little sneak peek with the Pippi. We got bright Merlot. We've got just Merlot and Vampish. Now, the only ones we really have like readily available in stock right now, we've got plenty of raspberry puree at the moment. And we have a handful of the Merlot, but we have absolutely no Vixen at the moment. And we have very, very, very little stock in our bright Merlot, but we got some really good news about our red flosses. We should be getting more of all of our red flosses in fairly soon, which is super exciting. We have, you know, been waiting, but they are worth waiting for, I promise. So like with the last little batch, we're going to go through and talk about each color and sort of where they came from or where you might find them in the wild, and some nice little tidbits for you. So in the last video I did, my birthday video, I did show you raspberry puree already, because it is also in the Hannah's Picks. But you know, sometimes it's nice to look at things in a slightly different context so you can see sort of other new ways to pair the floss with other colors or other contexts. And last time you saw this, it would have been on a bluish gray dark linen. So now you're getting it on a lighter neutral linen. So you're definitely getting it in a very new context. This is sort of on the pinker side. You can pair it with pinks and it goes really nicely, but you can also pair it with the reds and it goes really nicely as well. And so all of the Hannah's Pick flosses are featured in one of my free chart patterns, which is available on the website. If you go to the freebie section, you can download it. It uses all of the Hannah's Picks. This is one of them, and like I said, it's in the Spring Quakers floss conversion as well. Again, that's raspberry puree. Just so lovely. I mean, really, look at that. Kind of makes me want to eat a raspberry. I love raspberries. Isn't that nice? Do the little panning. You can see all of that tiny, tiny, very, very subtle variegation. Isn't that great? I love it. Next one we have is Pippi. Pippi, like I said, has not been released yet. It's going to be released in the coming few weeks. I'm going to zoom out so you can really take it in. It's going to be paired with some other new flosses that I'm not going to give away quite yet the details of. It's got a chart that is paired with it. It's got a bag that we're pairing it all with. You're gonna really love it. It's been sort of on the docket for a while, and so we're really excited to be able to release it and so that you can all take it in and enjoy it and stitch it. It's really gonna zoom right in. This one just really has some very nice rich undertones, and it's named Pippi after another famous redhead, Pippi Longstocking. I grew up watching Pippi Longstocking when I was a kid. Really loved that TV show. It's really just give it a little pan. In person, it doesn't quite translate in video, but in person, this floss is also just, you can kind of see it a bit, it's just like got a really nice sheen to it. The finish on it and the undertones and everything together, it just, it's so good. So good. Next up, we've got Bright Merlot. This is another one that was in my Hannah's Pick collection that you've probably seen up close already if you watched my birthday video. But you know, giving it a little more airtime because it deserves it. This floss is just so pretty, and it's got this lovely, super subtle variegation. The variegation is really a nice sort of pink tone. Really sparks joy. It's just so pretty. Again, this is Bright Merlot. Give a little flip here. See, you can see more of the variegation on this side. Just gonna very slowly drag it across the screen. You can really see all of that variegation. It's just lovely. It's Bright Merlot. Next up is Merlot. So as you can see, it's got a similar tone in its variegation to the Bright Merlot, but the whole of the skein is a bit darker, a bit richer. My in-laws were here over the past 4 days, and they are big red wine drinkers, and we had some Merlots while they were here. They were visiting from Newfoundland. I haven't seen them in a couple years, so it was really nice to see them and have a nice visit after so long. So that's Merlot. I'll give you a little comparison here to the Bright Merlot, just so you can see the Bright Merlot. It's just that little bit lighter, a little bit brighter, but they've got that same pinky variegation. They've got that same sort of tone family. Zoom out there. Just lovely. Now the last one from this sort of set here is Vixen. Vixen, like I said, has been out of stock for a while, but we've got some hopes of it being back sooner than we imagined, which is awesome. It's fantastic news. This color was also in our Spring Quakers floss conversion. Zoom right in, yeah. It's not fun. I know this is kind of nerdy, isn't it? It's like looking at floss close-ups. Zoom out again. I just wanted to show you, you know, if you wanted sort of a really nice gradient option. You know, this has got it's sort of a darker, again, Merlot. It's right here. This is the bright Merlot at the top. Merlot and Vixen, 3 of them go together so nicely. They've all got that pinky undertone. So yeah, that's batch number 2 of Leo&Roxy Yarn Co Floss Collection red colors. And I will see you soon for our final 2 colors. We've looked at 10 of the 12 that I'm going to show you today. So I'll be back in just a second. Well, these last 2 colors that I'm going to tell you about today are not sort of the same kinds of reds as we looked at earlier. They are more of the sort of natural ginger, coppery, hair-colored red. They'd be honestly great, like if you were stitching something where someone had hair, you could use these for the hair color, because they kind of have variegation, so they'd look really natural with the red as well. And yeah, they're just lovely. They're both also named after very iconic redheads. This top one here is named Anne, after Anne of Green Gables. Canadians will likely know Anne of Green Gables and the story and the significance in Canadian culture. Anne of Green Gables was a book, and there's been movies, there's a play, there's a TV show on Netflix called Anne with an E, which is based on Anne of Green Gables. It's a novel that was published in 1908 by Canadian author Lucy Maud Montgomery. It's set in the province of Prince Edward Island, which is on the east coast of Canada. It's a really lovely place if you ever have the chance to visit. I love Prince Edward Island. It's really, really beautiful there. I grew up in New Brunswick, which is right next to Prince Edward Island. There's a big bridge from New Brunswick across that sort of part of the ocean going to the island, called the Confederation Bridge. And it's awesome out there. It's just, I love the east coast of Canada. It's just beautiful. And it's my home. It's where I grew up. It makes me really happy, you know? Yeah, so the Anne of Green Gables is by Lucy Maud Montgomery, like I said. Or at least what I think I said already. Now let's take, oh, I forgot to tell you about the bottom one. So this bottom one is Annie, named after the, you know, little orphan Annie, Annie Warbucks. The sun will come out tomorrow, all of that good stuff, from the musical and very classic movie. Yeah, another famous redhead. Let's take a look at these nice and close now. So this is Anne. Oh, it looks so good close up. Look at that. I'm gonna just adjust the camera angle a little bit. There we go. Isn't that lovely? See how, you know, that's sort of like a nice natural redhead tone if you were to try to stitch a redhead. This would be a really good choice. It's kind of funny sometimes when I'm winding floss or just looking at floss, I'm like, what if I dyed my hair that color? And actually, for about 8 years, I was dyeing my hair like a bright coppery red. I had a bright coppery red hair for a really long time. I'm naturally got really dark brown hair, but yeah, I was coppery red for a good long while. That's Anne. So pretty. Isn't that great? Looks really great on this linen, actually, doesn't it? Yeah, looks good on a nice neutral linen. Nice fall color too. Reminds me of, you know, when the leaves change in the fall. A nice crunchy leaf color. So this is Annie. Again, sort of a very natural redhead, gingery, coppery color. It's brighter than Anne and a little bit more orange than Anne. And a little bit more variegated too, actually, now that I'm looking at it in the camera, as you can see. My middle school did a production of Annie when I was in 6th grade. And I sang the part of Annie, being as who I was, a singer for life. Flip it around. It's Annie. Almost makes you want to break out in song a little bit. My favorite song from Annie is probably the You're Never Fully Dressed Without a Smile. It's a great song. Definitely is a nice happy bop. It makes you want to smile too. Sometimes it's just nice to sit with the floss and give it the airtime it deserves. Keep this close up so you can really see the difference between Anne and Annie here. Thank you guys for joining me today to look at this floss. I'm going to take some videos of some other things, but it's sometimes nice to just take the time and pay attention to the smaller details.
So they won't want to buy the floss.
Alright, why don't you introduce yourself now?
Hi, I'm Leah. As Hannah said, I'm her best friend. And I now work at Ever Totes, and it's just the coolest place ever. Totes. And I am a production and administrative assistant, so I'm an assistant to the general assistant. And right now I am winding our beautiful dark sage floss, which is in our Christmas chart package. So if you haven't got that yet or looked at it, do it because it's super pretty. I am a knitter by exposure. my mom knit and my grandma was a wonderful sewer, so I have been on the fringes of the craft world for a while. My background is music. I'm currently going to Huron College for seminary. That's cool. We could do a question and answers period about that later if people want. But I'm just so happy to be more immersed in the crafting community and get to know all the lovely people who enjoy Evertotes.
And plug your Instagram.
I don't know what my Instagram is. Hold on. There's nothing really on there. I mean, there's lots of pictures of my dog Toby. He's a Shih Tzu. And of my husband and I, and just, yeah. So my Instagram is just my name, Leah Arvidsson, LeaArvidSson.
Give her a follow. She's real cute.
Thanks.
And now you've met Leah too. Leah joined us only a few short weeks ago. We needed a little extra help with some floss winding and some packaging and things like that. So she was an easy add-on because, of course, Hannah's known her forever. So she comes 1 or 2 days a week, and it's been nice to have her around as well. So I hope you enjoyed today. It was really fun to kind of let Hannah have the camera and take over, and to see things through her eyes as I've been editing her video. It is now 5:15. I managed to knit a few more rows of my heel flap while I was editing this video. I think you can you see that? I'll show you my band-aid there. There we go. So I got a few more rows of my heel flap done, and we had a few more orders finished up, packed up, and headed out the door. So I hope you've had a great day. I hope you have a great night. Something warm to drink, maybe a glass of Merlot. Makes me want to have a glass of wine listening to Hannah talk about Merlot. Anyways, so I know today was very Leo&Roxy floss heavy. You know, this is how I spend my day now. This is how I spend a lot of my time now. So I hope you enjoy it. I hope you enjoyed it. It's fun to do something a little bit different. So that's it for us here today from Hannah and Matt and Leah and myself. And I'll see you again tomorrow. I hope you have a great night. I hope you're well. I hope that you're safe, and I hope that you have some stitching to enjoy tonight. And I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great night, everybody. Take care. Happy stitching.